as they open up the Subway Series at the stadium against the Mets. We expect Cespedes to be in the lineup as the DH. That's what we expect. So first game tomorrow night at 7, then Saturday at 1, then Sunday at 8, right after the FAN Fan Fest, which is, matter of fact, let me get to that right now. This Sunday, it's the WFAN Jeep Radio Network Fan Fest at McCombs Dam Park, right across from the stadium. So you can get there at 3. It goes right till about 7:15, just before the Yankees and Mets continue their series or end their Subway Series that night. It'll be a day of fun, food, and games, and much more, including you can get your picture taken with Bernie Williams, Darryl Strawberry, Willie Randolph, David Cohn, Brian Cashman will be there. Plus, we'll be all broadcasting live starting at 3 o'clock. I'll have the last hour from 6 to about 7:15. It's powered by Jeep, the most awarded SUV brand ever, and by Wendy's, by Old Dominion Freight Line, Fidelis Care, the Luscotton Foundation, and, of course, the fan. So that's Sunday, Fan Fest, 3 o'clock, McCombs Dam Park, right across from Yankee Stadium. Jim in West Hartford. What's up, Jim?
Hey, how are you, Mike? Hey, I had a Yankee question, but I just can't help but respond to that cut from Tiger Woods. I mean, what PGA golfer over 40 does not suffer from some sort of pain? Everyone from Els to Mickelson who has an incurable disease, and you never hear them talk about it. I'm just so tired of the nag. I know he's got nagging injuries. I get it, but either play or be quiet.
Yeah, well, he played.
Play.
I mean, listen, it's Tiger Woods. They ask him about everything. You know, he wore a brace, evidently wore a brace into the interview room. That's what it was. He had some kind of brace on.
All right, but okay.
Hey, he played his round. He said, listen, he played.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, he's far more accommodating than he used to be for these guys. He really is.
Yeah, no, it just seems like he's always talking about nagging injuries.
He is always talking about nagging injuries. You're right.
And okay, anyway, just Yankees real quick. I know everyone's been talking about DeGrom and it's got to be a stud and it's got to be an everyday player like a Torres. Would the Mets consider Sanchez?
I think they would, but I don't think the Yankees would trade him.
Really? I'll tell you,
Yeah, boy. Boy, you really. What have you done for me lately? You're giving away. Do you know what kind of hitter this guy is?
Well, I got to tell you, I haven't seen much lately. And
you see, that's it. Now think about it.
I know, that long lineup.
How about
that long lineup?
What are you thinking 2 years ago when this guy came up? Tell me what your reaction was then.
I thought he had tremendous potential, but I don't see him developing. He didn't
what? Because he did. Wait a second. You think there's a problem with his hitting? Because there's not a. No, come on, because he got off.
No, I'm saying his hitting doesn't outweigh his defensive liabilities.
It doesn't.
In other words, if he's not going to hit, if he's going to hit 190.
Wait a second. He's not gonna hit 190 now. Come on, he's hit 190. The guy is a terrific offensive player. He's prolific. This guy is a catcher. I mean, you got to be fair about this with him. I mean, it's amazing. It's almost comical. I guarantee you, if I went back 2 years, you would probably be telling people, "This is the greatest hitting catcher I've ever seen in my life." The guy played 200. He had 200 bats. He had 20 homers and 42 RBIs when he came up that year. Then the next year, what did he do? He got up 400 times. He had 33 homers and 90 RBIs as a catcher.
Okay, but again, forget about his flaws on defense. He's the most flawed catcher in the league. We know that. We know that.
No, he has a bad glove. He doesn't have a bad arm. He's got a good arm. He's got a bad glove.
And his percentage of throwing people out is worse than Romine and a lot of other people. He's thrown out 70% of his runners, and he's given up more wild pitches.
He's got a very good arm. He does not have a good glove. He has a bad glove. He's got a good arm. He is a prolific hitter. You want to give away? You want to have Romine be your everyday catcher and get rid of Sanchez?
The two Yankee backups this year on a prorated basis are outperforming Sanchez at the bat.
No, wait a second. Wait a second. You're going to try and you're not actually going to try and explain that you think that you're going to talk about Higgy, who is a lifetime, one-something hitter, and you're trying to compare him to Sanchez?
I'm saying I'd rather have him batting ninth. No, batting ninth. Romine and Higgy batting ninth in that lineup. I'll take that every day with the glove. I'll take it every day with the guy, the glove.
Okay.
So
you give away, the same guy who hit 50.
Especially if I can get the DeGrom.
He only hit 53 home runs in his first 600 at bats. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it just shows you. Yankee fans, they're so spoiled, it's ridiculous. Yeah, now I'm giving up on Sanchez. Okay, he's not any good anymore. Talk to me about his career when it's over. I mean, he's not any good anymore. Steve in Bayside, what's up, Steve?
What's up, Mike? Remember when Sanchez was the problem, was the cause of Sonny Gray's problems?
Oh yeah, sure. Listen, it's always the same. And listen, I've never seen Yankee fans give up on anybody as quickly as they've given up on Sanchez. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe. Actually, I really can. The packages that first the Dodgers give up a 5-player package for a rental. I
can't believe it.
I can't get over that.
It's one of the great fleecings. Now, listen, unless they gave up a much lesser value of prospect than I thought, I can't believe they gave up 5 for 1 for a rental.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of good prospects.
Well, there's one in there that's supposed to be very good. There's one in there that they say is very good. But other than that, I mean, it just seems like a lot. It does.
Yeah, and then the Indians go out and give up a guy who Keith Law has as the 5th best prospect in all of baseball. Now, when you're talking about a midseason list, there's a lot of graduations. I get it. But they just gave up a guy who's considered to be, no doubt about it, catching prospect, supposed to hit like crazy. And, for, the 2 San Diego pitchers who are good but not great.
Well,
it just goes to show that.
Well, I disagree. I disagree with you there on that one for this reason. First of all, you might be right about that prospect or not. I don't know. I can't answer that one for you. You might be right. But I'll tell you this. The guy they got is really going to help them a lot. He really is. Hand is going to help them a lot. I think that's a very big pickup for them.
Well, why make the deal now and not wait until July 31st? If you make the deal now, this was my point, you're giving the teams their asking prices. Why not wait 2 weeks?
One more time. Why? You're asking why didn't Cleveland wait for on hand?
Yeah, why not just wait 2 weeks to make the deal? I mean, really, you could say that.
Well, because they're afraid somebody's going to get hand instead of them.
But to give up, all right, But to me, you're giving the team. If you can't afford to be patient, then you're going to pay the team their asking price, and you're going to wind up overpaying. I think it just makes sense.
But you see, they got a really good player though. See, that one is a guy who is really going to help them a lot. I mean, Hand.
They need bullpen help. I know that.
Hand's a guy who, guy had 24 saves this year. The guy struck out 65 batters, in 40 innings. I mean, he is going to help them. He could win them a World Series. I mean, he's capable of that. That's a need, and they got a guy. They rushed to get a guy they had to have. So to me, their bullpen has been a disaster. They went out and they really improved their bullpen immeasurably by getting this guy. He's really good.
Yeah, but you're trading a guy who, again, is knocking on the door of the major leagues, an everyday player for a reliever. And the last I remember, Minnesota did that a number of years back, and they regretted it for the next 10 years. Well, with the Washington Nationals, it seems to me.
Well, maybe, but again, you're not. They might know the guy. They might know the guy more than you do. You know what I mean? I mean, they might know the guy better than you do. Is what I'm saying. I don't know that. I can't get into they gave away. But even if they gave away a good player, they got something that they were afraid someone else was going to get that was coveted. There were a lot of teams that wanted Hand, and they got something that can really make a big difference. I mean, listen, the Cubs gave away a superstar in Torres, but it won them a World Series.
He was 19 at the time, though.
But they knew what he was. I mean, they thought he was that good then. And let's be honest, he's turned out to be that good, and they won them a World Series, so they're happy with it. Breaking news, the Dolphins say, according to the Associated Press, that they will discipline players who protest the national anthem with suspensions, fines, or both. So now you have a team that stands up and it says that they will discipline players who protest the national anthem with suspensions, fines, or both. So now that issue is one, as training camps get ready to open, that issue is one that is moving back to the forefront. Allie in Bay Ridge, what's up, Allie?
What's going on, Mike?
What's happening?
Mike, I want to make a point about the Devil Rays, but before I do that, the whole Sanchez thing, the thing is, 2 years ago, the way he was hitting, even last year, the way he was hitting, is the reason why a lot of of us Yankee fans feel that he's underperforming. But I do agree that he is a great hitter, and I would stick with him. But the DeGrom trade, if that was a real thing,
he is underperforming. He leads every catcher in
you're right. I was just
RBIs,
make
home runs, and runs scored, and he's underperforming.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm a Sanchez guy, but I mean, if you were to tell me a straight up trade between him and DeGrom,
no. I never offered you a straight up trade.
No, I know what that last caller made, but
I meant part of the deal. You're still giving up other pieces.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, how about this trade? How about this trade? You make this trade for me? You give me this?
Let me hear.
Andujar, Sanchez, and Bird for DeGrom.
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't do it. Mike, I think
that would be the fleecing of all time if that happened. Keith in the Bronx, what's up, Keith?
You're saying it'd be a fleecing of the Yankees, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to talk some more Gary Sanchez.
I think that would be. So you've given up on him too? Is that it?
No. So that's why you're making this straw man argument, saying
what do you mean straw man argument? Wait a second. You're talking about a guy who 2 years ago people were saying was acting like he was Babe Ruth. Now you're acting like he's no good.
Nobody's saying he's not a great hitter, and no fans are giving up on him, which is what you always say. Oh, you're giving up on Sanchez.
If you're trying to trade him at this age, you're giving up on him.
But why do you act, and so many fans act like he's beyond criticism, like there's not a problem that needs to be
Not beyond criticism, he's beyond trading.
Okay, if it's for DeGrom, I mean, if it's the right offer, you can make a case for trading him. I'm not saying they should go out and do that, but you can certainly make a case for it.
You're trading Sanchez now?
You got solid backups, but forget the trading. It's really more about the fact that there's this narrative that he's Teflon Gary Sanchez.
25-year-old catcher, you're going to trade him at this stage of his career?
All right, so, Mike, if you keep him, how do you get his progression back on track? Because like the last caller said,
because he's had a bad 200. Because he's had a bad 200 bats?
The glove hasn't gotten better at all.
The glove the glove, I understand, has got to improve, but he has had a bad start, so bad that he was on a pace to basically hit 30 homers and knock in 90 runs.
Well, so you want to put Kyle Schwarber behind the plate? He would probably do the same thing.
This guy is not that kind of catcher. It's not like he is a catcher who can't catch in a game. Don't make him something he's not. He is a guy who has a bad glove. He has a tremendous throwing arm. He's quick.
The arm doesn't matter if you can't get the ball first, though.
Yeah, the arm.
This year he hasn't been throwing out runners.
Listen, the arm does matter. First of all, the idea that the arm doesn't matter is nonsense. The arm and the release does matter. Almost, it's not important.
It's not as important as the glove. The glove.
Listen, the glove, but you're making it sound like he can't catch a game.
My point is he hasn't improved. You're not seeing signs of improvement. And again, I'm not saying give up. I'm not saying trade him. He's been in the majors since his third season.
So what?
So it's an issue. That's the point that people are making. There is a concern here.
They're talking about trading him. They're talking about trading him.
Well, okay, you can make a case for trading any player on this team.
Oh, you can?
I mean, sure.
You want to trade Torres?
Are you giving me Clayton Kershaw?
You wouldn't make that trade.
I would make that for Kershaw.
You'd be a fool to make that trade. He might break down tomorrow.
You got solid backup.
You're going to pay him $35 million. So you're going to tell me right now you'll give the Dodgers Torres for Kershaw, who's making $35 million a year and might not pitch for 2 years?
I think I would make that deal straight up. Yeah, I think the Yankees.
That's because you're making it in your bedroom. That's why you'd make it. You wouldn't make it in the real world. You're making it in fantasy land. That's where you're making it. Okay, you're making it where you're saying I can call up on the phone and make it because I don't have to live with the trade or live with what happens if the trade doesn't work. You cannot trade a budding superstar player for a pitcher who's making $35 million a year for the next 2 years, has already pitched a career's worth of innings, and has bicep tendonitis and a bad back. You cannot make that trade. He's already pitched a career's worth of innings. He's got bicep tendonitis. He's got a bad back, and he makes $68 million the next 2 years. Now, he's a great pitcher, but you don't even know if he's going to last a season, no less last a while. And you're going to trade me a guy who could be a Hall of Famer? Who's a baby? That, like I said, that's the kind of trade you make when you're a fan. You don't make that trade if you're a general manager. 5 o'clock, here's the Make Matt.